Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Uh, Welcome to our Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya, daily Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is reading class. Today, this month is Purusottam month, so we are reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, 15th chapter, Purusottam Yoga. Its English terms is the yoga of the Supreme Person. So yesterday we read 15 chapter 6 verse. So today we'll continue from verse 7. So at first we'll recite Mangalacharan and Advaita Pran from ISKCON Newtown, Kolkata. We are continuously reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. So first we'll recite Mangalacharan. So you can see Mangalacharan. I'm sharing my screen so you can see. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manohishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahim Dadati Sapadantikam Vande Aham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sagana Raghunathan Nitam Tang Sajivam Sadhutam Savadhutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Sho Amayam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Desatarini हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कंत राधा कंत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे श्री विश्वभानुसुते देवी नमामि वन्दे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं भुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं सचैतन्य ईश्वरं तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So you can see some Bhagavad Gita as it is. Some problem of scrolling. Okay. This page is something problem. So I'll download the PDF. Then you can read the PDF. No PDF. Otherwise, page is not properly. So you can see here. So we'll read from verse 7, 15 chapter. Step. Sometimes. So you can also download this copy. You can just type Bhagavad Gita as it is in English in Google, and you can see this Bhagavad Gita PDF file. You can download from here. It's Prabhupada Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Vishwani Desai Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So at first I am download the copy so that might not problem in future. Although I have downloaded it, what again? So we'll go to 15th chapter directly. verse. Uh, the yoga of Supreme Person. So we'll go to text 7. Yes. So you can see this verse, text 7, I'm zooming it. Yeah. So anyone wants to read this verse here? Okay, I'm reading first, then I'll ask. Okay. Manoharani Chitradevi Dasi, please read this verse.
मामैवंश जीवो लोके जीवो भूत सनातनं मनो
Sashtani
षष्ठन
Indriyani
इन्द्रियो प्रकृतिस्थानि
Sani Karsati.
कर्षति.
Yes. Please read the translation purport.
Okay. The living entities in the conditioned world are my eternal
Your voice is not coming
fragment.
clearly.
The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind, purpose. In this verse, the identity of the living being is clearly given. The living entity is the fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, eternally. It is not that he assumes individuality in his conditional life and in his liberated state becomes one with the Supreme Lord. He is eternally fragmented. It is clearly said, Sanatana. According to the Vedic version, the Supreme Lord manifests and expands himself in innumerable expansions, of which the primary expansions are called Vishnu Tattva, and the secondary expansions are called the living entities. In other words, the Vishnu Tattva is the personal expansion, and the living entities are separated expansions. By his personal expansion, he is manifested in various forms like Lord Rama, Narsinga Deva, Vishnu Murti, and all the predom
Predominating
and
deities.
all the predominating deities in the Vaikuntha planets. The separated expansions.
Yes, you can read.
Okay. The separated expansions, the living entities are eternally servitors, the personal expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the individual identities of the Godhead are always present. Similarly, the separated expansions of the living entities have their identities. As fragmental parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord, the living entities have also fragmental qualities, of which independence is one. Every living entity has an individual soul, his personal individuality, and a minute form of independence. By misuse of that independence, one becomes a conditioned soul, and by proper of use of independence, he is always liberated. In either case, he is in either case he is quality quality qualitatively eternal. As the Supreme Lord is in his liberated state, he is freed from his material condition, and he is under the engagement of transcendental service unto the Lord. In his conditioned life, he is dominated by the material modes of nature, and he forgets the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As a result, he has to struggle very hard to maintain his existence in the material world. The living entities Not only the human beings and the cats and dogs, but even the greater controllers of the material world, Brahma, Lord Shiva, and even Vishnu, are all parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord. They are all eternal, not temporary manifestations. The word Karshati, struggling or grappling hard, is very significant. The conditioned soul is bound up, as though shackled by iron chains. He is bound up by the false ego, and the mind is the chief agent which is driving him in this material existence. When the mind is in the mode of goodness, his activities are good. When the mind is in the mode of passion, his activities are troublesome. And when the mind is in the mode of ignorance, his travel in the uh, lower spaces of life. It is clear, however, in these words that the conditioned soul is covered by the material body, with the mind and the senses. And when he is liberated, this material covering
Perishes.
perishes, but his spiritual body manifests in its individual capacity. The following information is there in the Madhyani Nayana Shruti. सा वा एष ब्रह्मनिष्ठा इदं शरीरं मर्त्यं what is
Atisrijya
written
Brahma Bhisham
अतिसिज्य
Padya Brahmana Pashyati Brahmana
ब्रह्मणि
Shinoti Brahma
ब्रह्मणा
Naivedam Sarvam Anubhavati.
सर्वम् अनुभवति. It is stated here that when a living entity gives up this material embodiment and enters into the spiritual world, he revives his spiritual body. And in his spiritual body, he can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. He can hear and speak to him face to face, and he can understand the Supreme Personality as he is in Smriti. Also, it is understood that the spiritual planets, everyone lives in bodies, features like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As far as bodily construction is concerned, there is no difference between the part and parcel living entities and the extensions of Vishnumurti. In other words, as at liberation, the living entity gets a spiritual body by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Mamai fragmental parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord is also very significant. The fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord is not like some material broken part. We have already understood in the second chapter that the spirit cannot be cut into pieces. This fragment is not materially conceived. It is not like matter which can be cut into pieces and joined together again. That conception is not applicable here because the Sanskriti word Sanatana, eternal, is used. The fragmental portion is eternal. It is also stated in the beginning of the second chapter that Dehina Hashmin Jatha Dehe. In each and every individual body, the fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord is present. That fragmental portion, which liberated from the bodily entanglement, revives its original spiritual body in the spiritual sky in a spiritual planet and enjoys association with the Supreme Lord. It is, however, understood here that the living entity, being the fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is qualitatively one, just as the parts and parcel of gold are also gold. Thank you. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
thank you. Verse 8. Sariram yad avapnoti yachchapi utkramantiswara grihi vaitani samyati vayurgandhan nivashayat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: the living entity is in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another as the air carries aromas. Purport: here the living entity is described as Iswara, the controller of his own body. If he likes, he can change his body to a higher grade, and if he likes, he can move to a lower class. Minute independence is there. The change his body undergoes depends upon him. At the time of death, the consciousness he has created will carry him onto the next type of body. If he has made his consciousness like that of a cat or dog, he is sure to change to a cat's or dog's body. And if he has fixed his consciousness on godly qualities, he will change into the form of a demigod. And if he is in Krishna consciousness, he will be transferred to Krishna Loka in the spiritual world and will associate with Krishna. It is a false claim that after the annihilation of this body, everything is finished. The individual soul is transmigrating from one body to another, and his present body and present activities are the background of his next body. One gets a different body according to karma, and he has to quit his body in due course. It is stated here that the subtle body, which carries the conception of the next body, develops another body in the next life. This process of transmigrating from one body to another in struggling while in the body is called karsati or struggle for existence. Text 9. So, can any Devasis Bhattacharya, you want to read this verse? Okay, I'm reading this verse.
So,
So you can
sorry. Hmm.
you want you can read the translation and purport. Okay, Devasis Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay. श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनां च रासनं गृहणाम् एव च अधिष्ठात्या मनश्चायं विषायन् उपसेवते. Okay, read this translation and purport. Devasis,
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
please,
Translation.
please.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The translation. Um, the living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, tongue, and nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In other words, if the living entity adulterates his consciousness with the qualities of cats and dogs, in his next life he gets a cat or a dog body and enjoys. Consciousness is originally pure, like water, but if we mix water with certain color, it changes. Similarly, consciousness is pure, for the spirit soul is pure. But consciousness is changed according to the association of the material qualities. Real consciousness is Krishna consciousness. When therefore one is situated in Krishna consciousness, he is in pure life. He is in his pure life. But if his consciousness is adulterated by some type of material mentality, in the next life he gets a corresponding body. He does not necessarily get a human body again. He can get the body of a cat, dog, hog, demigod, or one of many other forms, for there are 8,400,000 species, 84 lakh species.
Okay, thank you, Devasis Prabhu, for reading this verse.
Thank you,
Purport.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Manorini Chitradevi Dasji, you can read this verse.
You read words, I will read translation in Hindi.
Okay. उत्क्रमन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमुढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषा.
Translation. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Purport. The word jnana chaksha is very significant. Without knowledge, one cannot understand how a living entity leaves his present body, nor what form of body he is going to take in the next life, nor even why he is living in a particular type of body. This requires a great amount of knowledge understood understood from Bhagavad Gita and similar literatures heard from a bona fide spiritual master. One who is trained to perceive all these things is fortunate. Every living entity is quitting his body under certain circumstances. He is living under certain circumstances and enjoying under certain circumstances under the spells of material nature. As a result, he is suffering different kinds of happiness and distress. Under the illusion of sense enjoyment, persons who are everlastingly pulled by lust and desire lose all power of understanding their change of body and their stay in particular body. They cannot comprehend it. Those who have developed spiritual knowledge, however, can see that the spirit is different from the body and is changing its body and enjoying the different ways. A person in such knowledge can understand how the conditioned living entity is suffering in this material existence. Therefore, those who are highly developed in Krishna consciousness try their best to give the knowledge to the people in general, for their conditional life is very much troublesome. They should come out of it and be Krishna conscious and liberate themselves to transfer to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Next 11. Yatanto yoginaschainam pasyanti atmani avasthitam yatanto api akritatmano nainam pasyanti achetasa. Translation: the endeavoring transcendentalists who is situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to. Purport: there are many transcendentalists in the path of spiritual self-realization, but one who is not situated in self-realization cannot see how things are changing in the body of the living entity. The word yogina is significant in this connection. In the present day, there are many so-called yogis and there are many so-called associations of yogis, but they are actually blind in the matter of self-realization. They are simply addicted to some sort of gymnastic exercise and are satisfied if the body is well built and healthy. They have no other information. They are called yatanto api akritat mana, even though they are endeavoring in a so-called yoga system and they are not self-realized. Such people cannot understand the process of the transmigration of the soul. Only those who are actually in the yoga system and have realized the self, the world, and the Supreme Lord, in other words, the Bhakti yogis, those engaged in pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness, can understand how things are taking place. Text 12. The verse is Prabhu, you can read. Okay, I'm reading this verse after we read.
Oh, yes.
Yad adityagatam tejo yagat bhasayate akhilam yat chandramasi yat jagnau tat tejo vidhi mamakam. Please read this translation, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Translation: the splendor of the sun which dissipates the darkness of this whole world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. Purport: Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The unintelligent cannot understand how things are taking place. The beginning of knowledge. The unintelligent cannot understand how things are taking place. The beginning of knowledge can be established by
Please
understanding
read.
what the Lord explains here. Everyone sees the sun, moon, fire, and electricity. One should kindly scroll down, please. One should simply try to understand that the splendor of the sun, the splendor of the moon, and the splendor of electricity or fire are coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In such a conception of life, the beginning of Krishna consciousness, lies a great deal of advancement for the conditioned soul in this material world. The living entities are essentially the parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and he is giving herewith the hint how they can come back to the Godhead, back to home. From this verse, we can understand that the sun is illuminating the whole solar system. There are
Sound is not
different
coming properly.
sound not
You
coming.
can read
Yes, Prabhu.
near the
Okay,
phone.
okay. I'm actually having the earphone right now, and internet connection might be issue. Let me reduce the
I
background
think
sound.
your
I have like
connection is not
music
good.
in the background. Okay, okay. Just give me 1 second.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Are you online?
Yeah, I'm here, Prabhuji. I'm here, Prabhuji. I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Sound is not coming properly actually. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Okay.
Am I audible? Am I audible now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get
Prabhu.
it.
Some network issue was happening. Sunlight is some different suns and moons, planets. Sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. With the rise of the sun, the activities of human beings are set up. They set fire to prepare their foodstuff. They set fire to start the factories, etc. So many things are done with the help of fire. Therefore, sunrise, fire, and moonlight are so pleasing to the living entities. Without their help, no living entity can live. So, if one can understand that the light and the splendor of the sun, moon, and fire are emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, then one's Krishna consciousness will begin. By the moonshine, all the vegetables are nourished. The moonshine is so pleasing that people can easily understand that they are living by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Without his mercy, there cannot be sun. Without his mercy, the help of sun, moon, and fire and can live. Without his mercy, where there cannot be fire, and without the help of sun, moon, and fire, one cannot live. No one can live. There are some thoughts. These are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness in the conditioned soul. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Text 13. Gam avishacha bhutani dharayami aham ojasa pushnami chaushadhi sarva soma bhutva rasatmakha. Translation: I enter into the each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Here Krishna is telling this. Prabhupada said in purport that it is understood that all the planets are floating in the air only by the energy of the Lord. The Lord enters into every atom, every planet, and every living being. That is discussed in the Brahma Samhita. It is said there that one plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, enters into the planets, the universe, the living entity, and even into the atom. So due to his entrance, everything is appropriately manifested. When the spirit soul is there, a living man can float on the water, but when the living spark is out of the body and the body is dead, it sinks. Of course, when it is decomposed, it floats. just like straw and other things. But as soon as the man is dead, he at once sinks in the water. Similarly, all these planets are floating in space, and this is due to the entrance of the supreme energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His energy is sustaining each planet, just like a handful of dust. If someone holds a handful of dust, there is no possibility of the dust falling. But if one throws it in the air, it will fall down. Similarly, these planets which are floating in air are actually held in the first of the universal form of the Supreme Lord. By his strength and energy, all moving and non-moving things stay in their place. It is said that because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sun is shining and the planets are steadily moving. Were it not for him, all the planets would scatter like dust in air and perish. Similarly, it is due to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that the moon nourishes all vegetables. Due to the moon's influence, the vegetables become delicious. Without the moonshine and the vegetables can neither grow nor taste succulent. Succulent. Human society is working, living comfortably, and enjoying food due to the supply from the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, mankind could not survive. The word Rasatmaka is very significant. Everything becomes palatable by the agency of the Supreme Lord through the influence of the moon. So today we'll stop here. So from tomorrow we'll continue from text 14. So it is very very sublime way in Prabhupada giving all these purports to the Bhagavad Gita as it is. If anything there is a doubt or query, you can ask me in WhatsApp. Okay. And you can read also by downloading this PDF copy, and you can bring it you can purchase it from our temple also, Newtown temple, hard copy if you need. And if you ask anything, you can ask in WhatsApp group. Okay. So today we'll stop here. देवाशीष प्रभु,
यस प्रभु।
कुछ क्वेश्चन है आपका
नहीं प्रभु, अभी कोई
रिगार्डिंग
क्वेश्चन
दिस?
नहीं, मैं पढ़ रहा था तो मेरे को बहुत
ओके, थैंक यू
अच्छा
फॉर
था
जॉइनिंग दिस क्लास
बात की।
and
जी
please try to join every day. Okay.
जी, I'll try.
And
Thank you very
I'm
much.
very happy that you are joining today's class.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Hare
Try to join every day. Okay.
कृष्ण, भगवान कृष्ण का
Okay. Thank you so
वो
much
होगा तो
for joining.
ज्वाइन कर।
Hare Krishna, Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
राम
Jagat
राम,
Guru
हरे
Shri
हरे।
Prabhupada ki jai, Pavan
जय
Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.